What's going on, y'all? It's David or Dawhveed, and today I want to do something a little different for you guys. Instead of a build video or like a top guns list, I want to go over each of the best skills in each tree for each of the individual vault hunters. If you passed first grade, then you know that there are 4 current vault hunters in the game right now, so for now this series is going to be 4 videos long. I am planning to cover just a few of what I think are the most important skills to spec into for each tree, not including the capstones, but keep in mind that each vault hunter is different, so some of their trees might have little to no skills on this list, while other trees might have a good handful. Kicking off the series, I of course am going to start with my pride and joy of Borderlands 3, Flak. Being a Flak main, I of course am completely biased and I feel that most of his skills are extremely strong and worth using, but for the sake of this video, I did my best to narrow it down to 3 skills for each of his trees that I believe are must-haves if you decide to spec into those trees. Starting with his blue tree, the master tree, I have the tier 1 skill, Persistent Hunter. This skill allows you to put 3 points into it, with each point giving you plus 4% bonus gun damage, but more importantly plus 15% bonus action skill duration. At 3 out of 3 points, this skill gives you a nice plus 12% bonus gun damage and a whopping plus 45% added duration to your action skill. That is insane. Base fadeaway is 15 seconds, and just with the 3 points in a Persistence Hunter, you can change that duration to be a little under 22 seconds. Base Gamma Burst is 20 seconds long, but with the Persistence Hunter points, you can change that to 29 seconds, adding a whole almost another 10 seconds. This skill is definitely a must-have for blue tree builds, and for most of my builds, the 3 skill points that I gained from level 50 to 53 all went into this skill. The next Master Tree skill that I have here is the tier 4 skill, Barbaric Yop. Barbaric Yop has a 5-point maximum, with each point giving you plus 40% to your pet bonuses, maxing out at plus 200% pet bonuses with 5 points. If you don't know what pet bonuses are, they are the extra stats that each individual pet gives you for having them equipped. For example, using the Great Horn Skag, you gain a bonus 5% damage and 10% gun damage. But using a Great Horn Skag with plus 5 points on a Barbaric Yop, you instead get plus 15% damage and plus 30% gun damage. And this can be increased even further by using one of my favorite class mods, the Friend Bot, because that mod has a chance to roll points into Barbaric Yop, meaning that your plus 5 points into Barbaric Yop can become plus 10 points, increasing your pet bonuses by 400%. Some of my favorite pets to run this combo with are the Great Horn Skag, which I just covered, the Beefcake Jabber, which can give you plus 25% movement speed and plus 50% bonus maximum health, or the Spider Ant Scorcher that can give you plus 5% bonus HP regen per second and plus 50% bonus elemental damage. Or the Spider Ant Countess that can also give you the HP regen and plus 25% damage reduction. Definitely a must-use blue tree skill, especially with the Friendbot mod combo, because that class mod is incredibly great already by itself, but even more OP with the right skill point. And last up for the blue tree, I have the tier 5 skill, Pack Tactics. Pack Tactics can have 3 points spec'd into it, with each point giving you a plus 7% damage buff to you and your pet, and also a plus 5% maximum health buff to you and your pet. At 3 out of 3 points, this skill gives you plus 21% bonus and plus 15% bonus maximum health, with your pet receiving the same bonuses. Admittedly, this skill is kinda boring since it's just like a damage and HP buff, but it not only is incredibly efficient for how much bang you get for your buck, but it can also be increased by class mods. Both the Rack Pack class mod and the Stackbot class mod can roll a maximum of 3 points into Pack Tactics. So combined with the 3 points that you can slot into it, you can potentially gain plus 42% bonus damage and plus 30% bonus maximum health to both you and your pet. Thankfully, both of those class mods are currently meta, and running them just for Pack Tactics is most definitely okay. The Master Tree definitely has some powerful skills in it, but sadly the capstone is pretty poopy right now, so not many builds outside of like the niche ones spec deep enough into the blue tree. Moving on to his green tree, the Stalker tree, I had a hard time deciding 3 here because I pretty much use the same exact skills for every single green tree build. The first one I want to highlight is the tier 3 skill, Lick the Wounds. Lick the Wounds is a rather simple yet effective skill. For 1 skill point, your pet gains the ability to pick you back up if you go down, and when doing so, your pet gains a plus 30% damage buff. This effect has no cooldown, so if you go down as soon as you get back up, your pet will be right there to get you again. For 1 skill point, this skill is a pretty much must-have for green tree builds. It's low requirement, but high impact are way too good to pass up, especially for solo players. Moving on to the next skill, I have the other tier 3 skill, Turn Tail and Run. You can slot up to 3 points in a turn tail and run, with each point giving you a 6.5% damage reduction and HP regen equal to 0.3% of your max HP per second when you're moving, and plus 8.3% gun damage along with a 4% bonus to fire rate while you're standing still. This maxes out to a 17.4% damage reduction and 0.9% HP regen per second while moving, with a 25% bonus to gun damage and 12% bonus to fire rate while standing still. I cover the skill a lot in my build guides because I use it on almost every single build. This is sort of your jack of all trades, master of none skill because it gives you a wide variety of stats you can actually pick and choose from during combat. If you're being shot at and you're getting low HP, the damage reduction and HP regen while you're moving is perfect to get you safely up out of there. And the DPS bonus while you're standing still works once you're all healed up and in position to start laying down the fire. A skill that gives you flexible options like this is definitely one you should never pass up when going down the stalker tree. Last up for this tree is going to be the tier 4 skill, the Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious can hold up to 3 points, with each point giving you plus 8% gun damage, plus 3.3% bonus movement speed, and plus 10% pet damage. But the caveat is that you have to be above half health. When maxed out with just 3 points, you can gain 25% bonus gun damage, 10% bonus movement speed, and plus 30% pet damage while above half health. If you think that's enough stats already, the Deadeye and Stackbot legendary class mods can both roll 3 bonus points into the Fast and the Furious, giving you a total of plus 50% bonus gun damage, plus 20% bonus movement speed, and plus 60% pet damage when you're above half HP. With the right build, staying above half HP should be a breeze. Flak has many health regen tools to take advantage of, as well as lifesteal anointments and high maneuverability with fadeaway. The Fast and the Furious is a great stat buffer provided that you can stay above half health most of the time. Please keep in mind that other skills in the green tree are also great, but I had to limit myself to only select a few to narrow down the absolute best ones for this video, and the 3 that I just pointed out are pretty much all you need stats wise to carry you and your friends to the highest of mayhem levels in Borderlands 3. Now moving down to the last of our skill trees, the Hunter tree. This tree is a little tricky because you can either go down the crit route for your builds or just the full DPS route without crits. Both are slightly different in terms of skill usage. So I decided to pick out skills that sort of fall into both of those categories because they're the ones that you will most likely be using for almost all of your builds that go into this tree. The first skill is actually a combo of 2 skills, since if you take one you are almost always going to take the other, and that is the tier 1 skill Leave No Trace and the tier 2 skill Head Count. Leave No Trace gives you a plus 12% chance for 1 ammo to be returned back into your magazine when you score a crit, maxing out at plus 36% chance with 3 points. Head Count gives you a plus 10% chance to lower your remaining action skill cooldown by 2 seconds whenever you score a crit, maxing out at a plus 30% chance with 3 points. These 2 skills pretty much go hand in hand in any crit build, evolving your build into something self-sustaining and extremely efficient. It's also worth noting that the Rack Pack class mod can roll 3 extra points into head count, giving you instead a plus 60% chance to lower your remaining action skill cooldown by 2 seconds with each crit. And since the Hunter tree is your Rack Attack tree, it's definitely one of the better class mods to be running with a high damage crit build. The next skill is the tier 3 skill, Two Fang. Two Fang has 5 available points, with each point giving you a plus 5% chance to spawn an extra projectile on each shot, maxing out at a plus 25% chance to spawn an extra projectile on each shot. With the Deadeye class mod, you can actually roll a whole nother 5 points into Two Fang, giving you instead a 50% chance to spawn an extra projectile with each shot. With high fire rate and low damage per projectile weapons like most Dahl or Hyperion weapons, this skill seems kind of underwhelming for taking up 5 points in your skill tree, since an extra projectile is just another like few hundred damage or so. Where the skill gets incredibly powerful is when you use high damaging single fire weapons like launchers, snipers, and even some of the shotguns. A few of my favorite weapons, for example, with a Two Fang build are the Kill-O-The-Wisp, because you can have multiple lightning orbs out dealing massive damage, the Ion Cannon, because one shot from this is already insane damage and doubling up on the projectiles is way OP, and even the Wedding Invitation, because of its high damage and innate Jacob's crit ability, you can take out bosses and even mobs of enemies super fast. Two Fang is a really great skill if you're running a high impact gun like any of those that I just mentioned, and you can increase your overall DPS by a large margin. Just make sure to find a good Deadeye mod for your build if you're going to put all of your eggs into the Two Fang basket. Last but most definitely not least, the third of my best hunter tree skills for Flak and my 9th skill of Flak's best skills is my personal favorite that those of you who watch me most likely saw this coming, Galactic Shadow. Galactic Shadow is a tier 5 skill with only one available point, and it gives you a bonus 15% crit damage, but also the irreplaceable ability of enemies being less likely to target you. Now if you play multiplayer with friends or just other people in general, you might not see the effectiveness very much of this one, but when you play solo, whoo boy is this skill a shining star. I always like to describe this skill as 1 point for a huge amount of indirectly tanky stats because it gives you so much more survivability from the enemies not looking your way as much. It also gives you a good amount of extra DPS if you're also running Hidden Machine from the Stalker tree because you do bonus damage to enemies that are not targeting you. Galactic Shadow in combination with things like Fade Away, Not My Circus, and even Red Fang make Flak one of the best, if not the best, solo character to keep yourself alive and dish out major DPS from the shadows. And that, my friends, is going to do it for my video on the best must-have skills in your skill tree for the Vault Hunter Flak. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. I appreciate it if you do, and it helps my channel out an immense amount. If you are interested in talking to my community, my friends, and even myself every day, then come fade away into my Discord server and we will welcome you with open arms for chatting, trading, and contests, and like even more stuff. Make sure to gamma burst that subscribe button along with the notification bell to stay up to date on all of my future videos, and while you're down there, don't be afraid to leave me a comment, because I pride myself on being super good at replying to every single comment across all of my videos. That's going to do it for me. Thank you all so much for watching till the end of the video, and I will check you all in the next video. See ya!